What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a Golgari build that is being just so much fun. I've been slamming the deck all day. Win rates are sitting on like upwards of 60%, so definitely a good one, and it feels good after a couple of days of losing a lot to come across such a fun build. So, without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. Rigged Shakedown, Golgari. If you haven't guessed already, we're doing the Shakedown Heavy Fight Rigging combo. But before we get to that, let's take it from the top. As I always do, describe the deck for you from left to right. I will explain to you why it is that I've picked the card, how it is that it synergizes with the other cards in the deck, if at all, and what some of the various play lines and interactions that you could come across during your average game of the deck will be. Then we'll jump into some gameplay footage and illustrate as many, hopefully, of those play lines and interactions for you against some opponents in middling diamond level, and we'll jump back in at the end with my final thoughts. Maybe there's some upgrades that we can come across during tonight's gameplay footage, and we'll implement them as we go along. Of course, as usual, BrewLab style, we will make sure that those modifications are available for you in the deck list in the video description down below for you to go copy and enjoy. So we start off with a couple copies of Bloodchief's Thirst because it's such an epic card. Early game removal and coupled with some late game ability to also target Planeswalkers is fantastic. Something that I've come across in testing, which I had initially talked about in previous deck techs, and I'm still not entirely sure of the official ruling and why this is, because to me it seems like it should work. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 2 or less. If disposed, kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker without the mana value caveat. So my thinking was, initially, the token copy of Obnixilis, that is mana value 0, because it's a token, you should be able to get rid of with an unkicked Bloodchief's Thirst. I have now come to figure out that that is not the case, unfortunately. If somebody could let me know in the comments down below why exactly that is. I guess the copy has the mana value of the original, but from what I know, tokens should be 0 mana value. Anyway, still a great removal spell regardless, and so I've gone with a couple copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. Then we got 2 Dig Ups. Playing Golgari, you might as well try and slip in at least a couple. It's just a nice tutor, and if you get it in the early game, you might want to use it to find a land and make sure you make your land drops, but then later in the game you can just cleave it for 4 and tutor any card in your deck, and that's just fantastic. If only I could find a way to squeeze in an additional copy and go with a 3 of, I'll be quite happy, but I'm struggling with space, and yeah, again, we'll make some adjustments along the way if necessary. Then we've got a couple copies of Infernal Grasp, additional removal, instant speed. Wanted something that was instant speed, because the rest of the stuff in the deck is sorcery speed except for Mortality Spear, which we'll get to. So yeah, just a couple of instant speed removal spells, fantastic. Then we've gone with a sneaky one of Valky/Tybalt, and that's because we're playing Binding of the Old Gods, and it's a habit from back in the old days when we had the ultimatums. Putting like one highland forest in the deck, because it's a mountain forest, you can go tutor it up with the second chapter of Binding of the Old Gods. Bringing one red source into the deck means that you can cast Tybalt Cosmic Imposter, and that's really, really cool. But sometimes, depending on the matchup, especially creature heavy ones where I kind of can tell that something like a Righteous Valkyrie or whatever is going to come down next, then I might play Valky and snag that out of the opponent's hand before they can play it. But most of the times, if you got this in your early game, just hold on to it until you eventually either top deck a Highland Forest, or you can go and find it with a Binding, and then you might be able to play a Tybalt, which is a sneaky one-of. I always like to include like a sneaky one-of in my deck. That's that's, potentially game-ending stuff. So there we go. There's your Tybalt. Then we've got a full playset of the Prosperous Innkeeper, just for a little bit of ramp. And also the life gain is really nice in this deck. We're often bringing in like lots of these token creatures with the Titan, with the Warchief, and alongside the fantastic little bit of ramp that it provides, the little bit of life gain in the deck that doesn't have much is actually very, very nice. And what I have been lately considering, and again, we'll make some adjustments if necessary, is to do something like this. Just drop it by 1 and put in a Gala Greeters. Just have like a sneaky one of Gala Greeters instead of a full playset of the Innkeeper. It's slightly different, a little bit more versatile, but very similar ultimately. But for now, let's just leave it as a 4 of Innkeepers and see how the matches progress. Then I went for a couple copies of the Bankbuster. We've got plenty of stuff that can crew it, and just the card draw and everything. You guys have heard me talk ad infinitum about this card. It's just... but in a deck like this, I'm not about to put like a full play set, but just a sneaky 2 of is nice. It's the sweet spot for me. Being able to draw some cards along the way, and then eventually it's able to crew itself and also ramps a little bit. Then, 3 copies of the Meathook Massacre. Again, one of those that I might just want to rather have a 4 of, but there is plenty of other removal. When you really get down to the nuts and bolts, you've got like 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 removal spells. It's quite a bit. Of course, the rest aren't sweepers. This is our only real sweeper, but it's been doing just fine. I did initially have 1 copy of... oh my goodness, why am I drawing a blank now? In the middle of my deck check. But Culling Ritual. Yeah, I had initially a sneaky 1 of Culling Ritual, but then it'll get rid of your Bankbuster, it'll get rid of your Innkeeper, and also any treasures that you might have come up with in your Meathook Massacre. So I ended up cutting the Culling Ritual, and which means we've still just only got the 3 sweepers. But again, it's been enough so far, and we can, if we don't top deck it at exactly the right time when we need it, we might just be able to dig it up with the dig up. So whenever I look at a card that I only have like a 1 of, like let's say Invoke the Ancients, essentially in terms of drawability, it's as if you're having a 3 of because you have dig up. I hope that makes sense. Like, even though you won't be able to top deck a 1 of as consistently as you would a 3 of because you have dig up, it might as well be another one of your 1-ofs because you can just tutor it up, right? Then, in our 3-drop slot, we've got the main combo of the deck. This is what we're hoping to have in our opening hand almost every turn. The number of times that I've gotten a turn 4 Titan of Industry or Workshop Warchief or something, or one of our invokes here is just, wow, it's surprisingly consistent. You'll play your Shakedown Heavy first, turn 3. Turn 4, you play your Fight Rigging. So, Fight Rigging. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Then, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Shakedown Heavy has 6 power. So, all you need to do is have, Shakedown Heavy survive on the battlefield for 1 turn. Freaking Vanishing Verse, man. I'm so sick of that card. I cannot wait for it to rotate out because somehow they always have like 3 of them in their opening hand or something. But if Shakedown Heavy can just survive for 1 turn, the following turn you bring down the Fight Rigging, you put 1 +1/+1 counter on the Shakedown Heavy, it becomes 7 power. You can straight away cast the thing that you exiled with Fight Rigging without paying its mana cost. You're trying to put like a Titan of Industry or one of our 5 or 6 drops underneath it is the way to go. Which is why we've gone with 3 of each of the nice big payoffs for the Fight Rigging. But if you can just put Invoke the Ancients or Invoke Despair under Fight Rigging, also really, really nice. Brings us to our 4 drops. Of course, sorry, before we continue the 4 drops, Shakedown Heavy also kind of acts as card draw. The opponent, like 90% of the time, will do the thing where they allow you to draw a card, but then you untap Shakedown Heavy and remove it from combat because they don't want to take 6 damage, which is a lot of damage. So yeah, the drawing cards via the Shakedown Heavy and the Bankbuster has been enough in this sort of mid-rangey Golgari deck. Now onto the 4-drops. We've got Binding of the Old Gods, which I've mentioned previously with regards to Valky, but it's just great because it gets rid of any non-land permanent, and then ramps us a little bit. The Death Touch on the 3rd chapter is almost always useless. Sure, it can come in handy occasionally. You want to swing in with something and the opponent doesn't really want to block it for whatever reason, but more often than not, it's just the first 2 chapters that we're really after. Then we do have 2 copies of Mortality Spear, which is just Binding of the Old Gods 1st chapter at instant speed, but it can cost 2, and usually I don't play it in the deck where we're not gaining any life, but Meathook Massacre can gain you a bit of life, Prosperous Innkeeper can gain you a little bit of life. As long as you just gain 1 life, now this thing costs 2, just a black and a green, to destroy any non-net permanent at instant speed. Man, I love this card. Always have. Ever since it came out, whenever I play Golgari, I try to slip in a couple copies, so here we go. Then, 5 drops. This is where the meat and potatoes is, you know, the stuff that we're trying to exile with fight rigging. We've got 1 copy of Invoke Despair. This initially was a Lolth, and it might go back to a Lolth, but in testing, it's been really nice. If you can exile an Invoke Despair with fight rigging, and then, you know, the following turn, your Shakedown Heavy gets to 7 power, and you cast Invoke Despair for free and get rid of the opponent's blockers and draw a couple cards, maybe also get rid of a Planeswalker and an enchantment. It's just fantastic. And then we've got 3 copies of the Workshop Warchief, which is just great. Also for additional life gain, when it enters the battlefield you gain 3 life. It has Trample, which is fantastic. It's also another great target for your fight rigging counters. You know, anything with Trample that you have that you can grow bigger always is great. And then if the opponent does remove it without exiling it, so it requires it to die, not to leave the battlefield. I wish it wasn't the case, but I guess a lot of these cards are just going to get better once a lot of these exile effects leave the format in September. But still, when it dies, you get a 4/4 green Rhino warrior creature token. You can also blitz it in, but this isn't really the deck where we're going to be doing that. You want the Warchief to stay on board and you know, create some board presence. The blitz, there'll be certain situations where blitzing it in is the way to go, and I hope to illustrate those decision makings moments for you guys during tonight's gameplay footage. But 90% of the time I'm just hard casting it for 5 mana and having a body on board that doesn't need to be sacrificed at the end of at the beginning of my next end step. Then we've gone for 1 sneaky copy of Invoke the Ancients. Just nice. Another, you know, the Invoke cycle, other than maybe the blue one, have just been fantastic all around. This one poops out 2 4/5 green spirit creature tokens, and you get to choose whether they get Reach, Trample, or Vigilance. Just amazing. And of course, when they come into play on top of the Innkeeper, you're gaining some life. They're also, you know, pretty high power creatures upon which to put some fight rigging counters in case the Shakedown Heavy thing doesn't pan out. It only would take 3 more turns to get it to 7 toughness. Happens less than you'd think. Depends on the matchup, but still, really, really fantastic card, and another great one to exile with fight rigging. Which brings us to our very, very top end. We've got 3 copies of Titan Industry, which is the real main target here for fight rigging. We've seen it already in my mono green deck. I do now have a full playset, and I did initially have a full playset in the deck, but then I just went down 1 copy to get in and Invoke the Ancients. Again, as usual, we might make some adjustments and tinker up and down with the list and see. We might end up going back to 4 of and cutting something else. But for now, that is the deck. As far as the mana base, we've just got 2 Hives. These dual color decks, definitely easier to build a mana base for, especially one that has like a nice even spread of you know, we're very close here with the manas, like 47 and 58, so it's easy to just split things up, and that way I would go for a 2 and 2 of the creature lands and legendaries, whereas with my tricolor decks it's been 1 of each. And we can also play Field of Ruin, which is much tougher to do now in the 3-color decks because you almost always end up with 0 basics in those new builds with the tri-lands. Here we now can have all of these lovely versatile utility lands while still having 5 basics, bunch of duels, and the Highland Forest to go tutor up with Binding of the Old Gods. That's the Brew rigged shakedown. Well, let's jump to some games. Still running into a lot of Vanishing Verse though. I'm thinking if there's any adjustments that do need to be made, we are playing green. Let's throw some Tamiyo's safekeepings in here. I'm not entirely sure what I would cut, but the amount of times in my entire game plans just get shut down by a couple of Vanishing Verses back to back is ridiculous. Cannot wait for that card to bugger off. Shadowhod. Shadowhod? Shadowhod? Not the best opening hand, but I will keep it. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. Valkyrie. And we got the combo, baby. 3 Binding of the Old Gods. God, that is nice. Woohoo! At least it's not Esper. Or Zov. No. From what I can tell. Does not appear to be Orzhov. Mono White Angels. CGB just put up a Mono White Angels deck, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was that. Hey, it was the first brew I put up on day 1 of the new set. Righteous Valkyrie number 2. Now, he might have that new card that stops your your destroy effects. What's it called? The thing that puts a shield counter on things. But let's attack first. You'll probably untap it. Hopefully we'll draw another land and we can binding his dude. Okay, never mind. You can block, of course. These decks have a way of just coming back from the brink that is really quite disgusting. Righteous Valkyrie is so broken. Okay, it is Orzhov. Oh, here comes Vanishing Verse. You ready? Guaranteed, like, almost without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. There we go. Here starts the bullshit. Watch him have another Valkyrie. No? Okay. Let's attack first, see what happens, and then decide. Because if he doesn't... I mean, if he lets me draw and I do get another land, we might go for the Warchief instead of the Binding. Alright. There it is. Wrong card, mate. Hee hee. That felt pretty good. Of course. Just finished talking about it in the introduction. I mean, it's everywhere. Third Righteous Valkyrie in the top 10 cards of his library, like every other time. Really? Sure. Watch him have another Vanishing Verse as well. That's our last basic forest. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's not quite enough. Let's attack first. See what he decides to do. Maybe we'll top deck one of our removal spells. No? Okay. So then, yeah. I think we're definitely getting rid of the Valkyrie. Bye-bye. Third Righteous Valkyrie in the top 10 cards. It's ridiculous. How many times? Of course, man. Of course you have another one. Okay, so that's his fourth one. We need to be careful of the Voyage card. We could have just played the Titan now, but let's get the Lair down first. Attack, of course. You'll untap, I'll draw another card. Maybe we just Massacre, no? Can't we Massacre? 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll get rid of this. Sure. Fourth Valkyrie down the drain, my friend. Sorry, fourth Valkyrie. Sure. Titan of Industry coming through. You're gonna swing with the Valkyrie? That's fine. It's starting to get a quite juicy size there. I'm looking forward to top decking one of my like hard removals, Bloodchief's Thirst or what have you. I've also got a couple Infernal Grasps. We've used up quite a bit of it though. I'm dreading another burst though. Shield counters? Yeah, cool. There's so much exile right now that they're kind of just useless. Yeah, that's enough land in our deck, thank you. Straight back up to 18. Man, I've drawn so many cards off of this guy. Billy! What's going on, Billy? How are you, brother? Okay, there's the Warden. We can massacre the lot of these dudes. Still have our entire squad survive. Even removed the counter to get the Citizen. Another land. Sure. Okay, so let me just see here. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gets rid of everything, including our Rhino. But that's okay. Let's attack first. Actually, no. we can put a counter. It will still die, unfortunately. Sure. Then block with the guy that has the thingy-majig counter on it. He's probably thinking to himself, like, why would he attack with the Rhino if I can just block it and kill it? He must have a sweeper. Well, you are right, my friend. Ooh, and by doing this, you're actually making it so that I don't have to... Well, yeah. The Rhino still dies. Opponent. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Sure. Fine. No problem. We lose the Titan, that's fine. Do we massacre now? I don't know, man. Maybe we save it. I think we need to save that. And draw a card with the Bankbuster. Maybe it would have been better to just not attack and massacre and get rid of his board, but oh yeah, definitely would have been better. Now we have to deal with this never-ending barrage of Legion Angels. I wonder whether he actually swings now. Ooh. Nice. Nice. My external battery in a second. It seems like my hotspot modem is blinking at me angrily with red flashing lights. Don't want to lose connection midstream. Oh, we definitely need to go a Meathook Massacring. Oh, that's nice. We'll get another Rhino from the Warchief dying. Woo! Sorry, no angels. Heh. Probably go for a double angel. We're just gonna invoke Despair and it's gonna be amazing. because it'll also get rid of the double strike. Shkadunk, shkadunk. And the card. Oof. Fight rigging. Oh, baby. Are you kidding me? Hey, that'll be funny. We did gain some life. So we can do that for free. Got him. We got a tad lucky. He only managed to top deck one Vanishing Burst there. Things could have gone a little bit differently, but that was fantastic game one. I like it when I win on the first game of the video. It always just sets the mood. Hopefully we can go on a nice freaking streak. I think in best of 3 this deck would be insane, because then you could have all the sideboard stuff that you need to sort of combat the various matchups. We may have to do a little best of 3 sideboard guide for you best of 3 gamers at the end of the video, so stick around. While this is queuing, let me go find that battery. Okay, we've got the combo in hand, so that's... I wish we had like something to play on turn 2 or something, but... Let's be polite. Okay, so probably cabaretis of some kind. Treasure token. Thought so. There's a turn 2 play. Nice. These guys are still very tiny for now. Yeah, cabaretis it is. Ooh. Another treasure makes a cat with haste. Probably. But it's tapped, which is fine. Very, very much so. You can tap for quite a bit of mana here now still. Ooh. That's an interesting choice for this deck. Although she does make treasures. Makes sense. Another cat with haste. We'll swing with cat and dude. Ooh. Very scary. Nice, man. I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared of where this is going. We need a Meathook Massacre, like, quickly. If that's... Although, they do tend to empty their hands pretty quickly. That's quite something. At least we're guaranteed to be able to get our combo off. That's juicy. However, any sort of deck that runs any kind of sweeper will just walk all over this thing, like completely just destroy it. So, meh. I've tried it a lot. I'm not about to risk losing my Shakedown Heavy to some cats, just in case he had something there. on, give me the Titan of Industry, please. Ugh. That's terrible. Well, let's get rid of at least the cat generator and ramp a little bit. It's not looking good though. It's not looking good at all. Makes a treasure. Oh my goodness. At least there's at least we got rid of the Ginny Faye. This is not looking good at all. I think we probably lost unless we can get a Meathook Massacre next turn. Two, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's game. Nice. We got a little shafted there. Meathook Massacre would have destroyed the crap out of that nonsense, but anyway. Very well played, opponent. I like it. That was a nice version of Naya tokens. Very nice. Very, very nice. I might need to steal some ideas from that for tomorrow's deck. Although we have already looked at Cabaretis, that was like a Brewing with Jetmir episode. I do need to revisit Jetmir because it's clearly quite potent. I just feel like right now the amount of control decks are quite heavy, especially in Diamond. There's a lot of Esper running a lot of bullshit. Okay, we've got some removal, so I'll keep it, even though I probably shouldn't. This is the way to deal with these rune steps. Just destroy all their bullshit. Stupid ass deck. Here comes the Scalds. Like clockwork, mate. Like clockwork. Borrowed time and waste your turn. No, Michigo. Give me some removal, please, deck. Okay. I hate this deck so much, man. It drives me insane. It just always comes back from the brink. It's so fucking strong. Okay. Tap land is great. You're welcome to swing. That is just about as juicy as it gets, man. 5 life. Oh, baby. Boop. Douche. How do you like them apples? Naya runes. Double Titan, baby. In your face. He's gonna exile one of them. Biggest crock of shit ever. Such a joke, man. Like, what a stupid deck. Like, how did anyone ever think that this would be a clever idea?
I have cosmic aspirations. Make no mistake, I'm
A douche. I'm okay blocking with the Innkeeper. No problem. Although he may have another... Right of Harmony. Trying to draw some cards here. As if he didn't have enough card draw with the runes and shit. What? Why did he get that many cards? Oh, okay. Yeah.
succumb to chaos.
Oh, baby, that is so tasty.
Memories.
Woo! We can kill the dude. The borrowed time with the Mortality Spear. Oh god, I love beating Naya runes so much. It makes me happier than a pig in shit. That won't do it. You just lost. Sorry. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful time. Yes. Go home. Stupid, stupid deck. How are we doing for time? Hey. This is the last match of the night. Let's end it on a win. Uh-oh. Looks like Obscuras. I'm having a look at a very nice casualty deck. Bugger off. Pardon me. Yep. They sometimes run the Feed the Swarm to get rid of the fight rigging. Or, you know, whatever other enchantments. Or... nice. Very nice. No lands though. It's a little problematic. Zizibble. I'm thinking probably some like Invoke. Okay. Whew. These mono black decks just run like 3 or 4 copies of Invoke Despair every single time. So we do need to be aware of that. Some removal on my Innkeeper. Would kind of be pretty annoying. Would love to top deck Shakedown Heavy. No such luck. Let's go fetch the red source. Could have attacked there. What do you think? I'm worried he's going to remove my... Yeah, like that. Any of our, like, you know, one of the rhinos that was just exiled would also be pretty good. That's terrible. Land or a rhino, please. Ugh. Okay. We're gonna take quite a bit of damage next turn. I think this one might be a bit of a problem. Although we can get rid of whatever. He doesn't get his card draw. Oh, he does. It's just whenever it dies. Good point. Ooh. Whoops. Oh. Come on, baby. Come on. Any of my bigger dudes. Yeah, baby. Yes. Please don't have removal in hand. Please don't have removal in hand. Oh my god. Anything but that. Oh no! Can't believe it. Jesus. No, we're gonna draw a card with that. Oh my god. What an ass. What an ass. That's disgusting. I think we just lose, right? Yeah. 3, 6, 7. Fuck you. Alright, ending on a defeat. Very close. Unfortunate bit of a heavily removaled opponent there. Well, not even. Just a very well-timed couple of heroes' downfalls. Still my favorite removal spell. Like, people are not playing this one enough in green, in black. Like, we've got Murder and all these other things. This is the truth. Planeswalkers as well. Hello, little boy. It's alright. What are you doing up at this time? Alright, everybody. That's going to be it for tonight's video. I need to do some Brew Dad action. Jumping back into the deck right at the end with my final thoughts. You want to come sit here on Papa's lap? There's no balls. I would say maybe just nice to have like a best of 3 variant that runs. You know, if I had to make a sideboard for this, it would just make the deck infinitely better. Some Tamios, maybe like a 3 of. Then I would probably put in some of our usual duress.
Mama.
Come sit with me. Come.
Mama. Mama did it. Mama.
Alright, everybody. I'm gonna have to cut it short. But, yeah. Like I said, some ways of saving are important stuff. Tamios would be able to save fight rigging. Tamios would be able to save the Shakedown Heavy. All sorts of other, one of our important cards. So, if I had to trim anything, it might be the dig up for a few dig up.
Mama. Mama did it.
I'll see you all tomorrow with some fresh brews. And until then, this is the Brew Dad from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.